Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for social media tips and marketing tips based in technology for your real estate business. I'm Amy Stack, and today we will be covering how you can use Facebook groups for prospecting in your real estate business. So I've got a few different things I wanted to cover today. I get lots of questions about this all the time, so I'm looking forward to hearing what yours are as well. And I do have a couple of things pulled up that I can share with you, some samples on Facebook too. So feel free to, share your questions in the chat or on camera. And what I wanted to start with is there's pretty much two main ways, I guess. There's lots of different ways, but two main ways you can interact with people on groups on Facebook. And a lot of these principles can apply to other platforms as well. It's just easier to only have to say one. So I'm just going to use Facebook as the example today. But the main two ways is to either start a group of your own and invite people to participate in it, or to go join groups that are relevant to your interests or your geographical areas, and you participate as a member of the group. Any questions about that? Pretty self-explanatory, I think. All right. Well, I want to start with talking about groups that already exist, because that's a little less work for you. You don't have to go create a group, provide content, and do all of that type of stuff. So I am going to show you a couple of groups that I'm in so you can get an idea of what maybe, some interest or spark some ideas of what maybe you would want to join as a group, because you don't have to only join real estate groups or town groups. You can join groups that are a place that are people that share the same interest as you, and it can be a hobby. One of the ones that I'm in, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now, is if anybody here is familiar with crickets, feel free to put in the chat, raise your hand, leave a comment, whatever. Let me know. Do you know what a cricket is? Not the bug. So a cricket is a crafting machine. Oh, I see Kristen said yes. Yay, fellow cricket knowledge person. But I have one, and it lets me do, a couple people, good. Yay, crafters. I have one, so I am in a group. I'm in a few of them, but this is just one I pulled up. You can see it says Cricket Newbies and Pros for Explorer and Maker. Oh, Karen, I'm glad you know how to pronounce it now. Yeah, a lot of people think it's cry cut, it's cricket. So this is a group that has nothing to do with real estate, yet gets me connected with people that I know have a similar interest as me. So this is a type of hobby that you could join. People join groups about kayaking or dog lovers or, coffee drinkers, local business supporters, all kinds of things. None of that has anything to do with real estate really, but you can build relationships that way. So it's a way to meet people that are outside of your sphere. And you can see there's lots of different types of things going on in here. This group is pretty active. So you can see people ask different questions, and you can just jump in and answer. You don't have to say anything about real estate, but it's just a way to start connecting with people. So that is something that's totally unrelated to real estate, yet a helpful way to find new people in your world that share a connection with you, because you already know you have that something in common. I like to craft, I have a cricket, there's two things I probably share in common with these people, and maybe that could spark an interest or conversation into something else that could turn into real estate. So this is just a good way to kind of meet some new people. If you are doing something that is more of a hobby, like, let me stop the screen share so I can see all of you guys again. Okay, so let's say we're talking about more active hobbies, like out in the world, like kayaking or fishing or something like that. Maybe you find something that is more regional, closer to your area, and then you can connect with people not only that share that hobby with you, but are in your area, and you can start talking about how much you know about, the local fishing spots, or, oh, you have to go try this, or this is a great place to rent boats, or in the winter, like skis, whatever it is that your hobby is, to help people understand that you really do know that area. And then that's a way to tie it back into real estate as well. So that's just showing that you're the local expert and you're supporting local. So that would be good for something that is a hobby, that is something that could be a localized thing. Now it could be a group that, you know, you can do those types of activities all over the country, but not everybody is only wanting to do it in their town all the time. So maybe they're coming to your town to visit. Well, then you can have that conversation about where they can go to do that activity as well. And again, solidify yourself as that local resource. And then they have a connection in your town. And who knows if they ever want to move this way, or they know somebody that's looking to buy or sell out in your area. Now they know you already. And so they can talk to you as a reference point to either help them or that other person that they know. Another type of group that I know a lot of agents like to utilize are local neighborhood groups. So I'm going to go ahead and share a new screen with you. So this is a local group that I'm in. It's called Happenings in Lombard. And this is one that a lot of people that live in Lombard or the surrounding area are members of. And people ask all kinds of things, talk about what's going on in town. Like, anyone know how to get about, how to go about adding a stop sign to an intersection? That could be something that you could supply some information on. But this one I pulled up because right here, this is a great example of how you can add value to a local group in Facebook. So looking for anyone who is still taking on new clients for snow removal, right? You'll see lots of vendor type questions, allied partner questions in groups like this, these neighborhood groups. Who knows a plumber? Who knows an electrician? Who do you recommend for this, right? And as a local realtor, you should know all kinds of people, right? Just from doing business, you know the people that work in these areas. So that is a great way to connect with people in that group. What I suggest for things like this, really for any group that you're in, if there's a question that is even somewhat real estate related, always reply with, you know, Amy Stack, your Lombard realtor, or whatever you want your little tagline to be. Have that be your first sentence and then answer the question. That's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to help them know that you're an agent, right? So it's getting that out there. Two, if you're replying with that every single time, it's getting your name and that brand out in front of people over and over again to help sink into their mind that you're that local real estate agent that they should reach out to. And three, especially with things like this, with asking for, you know, a service provider, by saying that you are a realtor, they're automatically going to think, oh, this is a business person recommending another business. So it might hold a little bit more weight, which one, could be helpful for the person you're recommending. And two, maybe they're going to reach out to you because they think, oh, well, if you're recommending this, maybe you've used it for other clients, right? And I can get some more insights by reaching out to you directly. My third secret in that, putting your name and what you do as the first line of any reply, is that it will help with the algorithms and your search engine optimization. So what's going to happen is if you keep putting that same content over and over, that same, you know, Amy Stack, Lombard real estate agent, every single time, if somebody can't remember everything and they start searching for your name or agent or realtor, whatever it is that's in that tagline, that's going to help find, pull your name up. But also, when you're using that same one over and over, if people do copy it and search it, so like if I had put in the search bar up here, whatever that first line was, it's going to search all of Facebook and find all the posts that I've written that in, or within that group, depending on where you're searching. I have this search bar too. So that can help give other resources that you've shared in the past and pull those up. And that's just talking about vendors. So in these types of groups, you can also share information about, right now, a popular one has been great places to see lights in your area, Christmas lights. I have a few agents that have put stuff like that together, and that's just coming from value, right? It's, again, solidifying you as a great local resource. You can put your little info in there about being an agent, and then it's going to provide value to the people of the community and get your name out there again. Any questions about the town groups or localized groups like this?
Hey, Amy, I have a question.
Yes.
If I state on there, like Jen Amundsen, your local realtor,
Yeah.
is there any way you can highlight that if someone was to click on it, it would bring it up to my Facebook page?
Oh, so you could tag your Facebook page in the post. That's a great question. Let me see. I don't know any.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you said
Yeah.
post it like Jen Amundsen, your local realtor, but unless I recommend or post my page, no one could just click on, like we couldn't highlight the Jen Amundsen, your local realtor. And then if someone clicked on it, it would take us to our social media page.
So can you see what I'm typing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you can type, type message.
Yeah.
Right, and then you can do, if you have a business page, you put that little @ sign and start typing in your business page, and that's my business page. So now I'm not actually going to post this, but what will happen in here is if I hit post, the social stack is actually a link that will take them to my business page, which has all of my contact information.
Okay.
Is that kind of what you were asking about?
Yep. I just didn't know if we could just highlight it without looking, like, how someone says, like on the What's Happening in St. Charles page, someone says, anyone know of a local realtor? And then within a half an hour, there's 193 comments, right? And everybody's posting everybody's page. So I didn't know if instead of writing something that's simple, if that could tag it to your page without doing like the @ and then your business page.
Yeah, you'll still have to do the @ that's going to be the most efficient way to do that, unless you're just putting, contact information in there, which you could do as well, but then it wouldn't be linked to your page. Or you could do both. You could link your page and type the info in there. But you're right. Always in these groups, when you see people, and this, Jen, that's a great point that you bring up, because a lot of times you will see in groups like this, somebody will ask about an agent and then like 50 people comment in 10 seconds about who they know. But if you've been constantly participating in the group and adding that valued information, recommending vendors, giving information about what's going on in town, updates about construction or new plans for bike paths and stuff like that, people are just going to naturally like that name, because you've been putting it out there and over again. It's gonna be like, oh, that's right. I remember seeing that Jen was been sharing this great information. She really knows her stuff about this area. So that would help, again, keep you top of mind, even if there is a list of 50 people, because you've already been putting comments in there. So it is really important to, actively participate. So I wouldn't necessarily be a part of 100 groups. Pick the ones where you really want to be, known. Does that make sense?
So yeah, so I know it's probably the name, but I'm going to circle back on something here for a second. So is there like a local Cricut page that, or if I make something on my Cricut and I tag it on my Facebook page to say, I made these for my clients, happy holidays. You know what I mean? Like, can I tag a Cricut page on my social media page that then will tag my realtor page?
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So you want to post something on your business page and tag a group that you're a part of, like a Cricut group. Yes. And then what's the third piece that you were trying to say? Which then
would tag, because if you, I'll call you another day and go through it. Because I'm still new and I still haven't set up my Facebook page.
Gotcha.
But I want it to like circle through. So I still want to tag people that gave me the Cricut ideas, but tag my personal page to show what else I'm making, to tag that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can have multiple tags from one post, but just from your, let's say you're on your business page or in a group and you're tagging here and you tag this one over here, this post it's not going to show back here. It really depends on how this other place has their page set up. So sometimes that might work, but most of the time it's like a one-way feed.
That's what I was at. Perfect. That was, I could not get my words out.
No, that's a good question. I'm sure other people were wondering the same thing.
Do you?
But yeah, that's a. Oh,
do you do a video? Do you do setups on Facebook and social media on your videos as well?
I do. Thank you for asking. I actually have a 66-day challenge. So if you guys are just getting started in social media, I have a 66-day challenge that is pinned to the top of my YouTube channel that goes over literally set up processes for Facebook business page, Instagram business profile, and a YouTube channel. And so it's click by click instructions, and they're little like 5 to 10 minute videos. So you don't have to do it over 66 days if you don't want to. The whole point of that is if you break it up into little pieces, it's going to help you, you know, take it one chunk at a time, but also build that habit of being regular on social media to help if you really want to use, you know, social as a way to prospect and build your business. It'll just get you in the habit of checking it on a regular basis. So
awesome.
yeah,
Thank you so much. Sorry, that was a long circle back, circle around, whatever you want to call it this morning.
That's okay. It was a great question. I appreciate it. All right, so we talked a little bit about different types of groups that other people have set up that you can participate and how you can participate in them. And then I also wanted to bring up the fact that you can absolutely 100% create your own group. And I would love to hear, does anybody know the difference between a group and a page and a profile? I know that can get a little bit confusing, so I would love to hear from you guys. Does anybody know what those three things are? There's everybody that's on Facebook has a profile. There's also groups and pages. So Kristen says yes. Does anybody care to explain to the group what some of those things are?
Yeah, I know like a profile, Facebook requires like a profile because they want to have a business associated to like an individual person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the pages come in. So
Yep.
You've got your pages for like businesses, and then the groups is more for interactivity, I think, more so.
That's
so
a
it's
great way to put it.
for people to connect.
Yes, exactly. So everybody that signs up for Facebook has their personal profile. You have to have that if you are on Facebook. From there, you can join groups or create groups, and you can like pages or create pages. So your page is a public business page. It's kind of like a website, sort of, but it lives on Facebook. It is public, so anybody in the world can see it. They don't even have to be a Facebook member. A group is something where you can stipulate what criteria you want people to have in order to join the group, and you can approve or deny people entry to the group. So it's got kind of like a, ooh, I want to be part of that, maybe a little bit of FOMO around it, right? So I'm not going to talk about pages today. We're talking about groups. And exactly as Bree said, groups are really a great way to kind of build that community. And it is not something, if this is a strategy you want to do, it is a great strategy. I know a lot of agents that use this and have gotten a lot of business from it, but it is something you're going to have to put some time into. And the great thing about it is that they're free, but it's not necessarily going to take off overnight, right? You're going to need to get a couple of key influencers to help join your group. So get some of your friends that are active on social media and know your town to help participate with you, to ask questions or respond to your questions, and to help invite their friends into it. So that's going to be key. And then some other tips I have for you on that. Let me pull up my screen. 1 second here. There we go. Is when you do go create a group, it's important to know that there's different privacy options. So you can make it public, so then it says anyone can see who's in the group and what they post, or you can make it private. So only members can see who's in the group and what they can post. Now this is up to you, a business decision on how you want to run it. Again, if it's public, anybody can see what's going on. So that means that people do not have to join the group to get the information. So maybe you like that idea because you're more accessible to people. The other side of it is that if they want to see the information, they must join the group, which means then you know who's in the group and who's looking and who you can reach out to. So it depends on which way you want to go with that. The other thing I want to point out is when you are setting up groups, you do have the ability to request information from anybody who wants to join before they are approved. So I pulled this up because you'll be able to get a question or a little pop-up like this. So it says, ask pending members questions. So you can ask, Are you looking to buy or sell in this area in the next X amount of days? Do you live or are you moving to this area? Are you currently working with an agent? You can ask those types of questions. Not saying those are the ones you have to ask, but think about that. That means that if they want to join your group and you ask those questions, you're already vetting them. You're learning about them and what some of their plans are. Now, I wouldn't go crazy and do like a whole buyer or seller consultation in these questions. Just keep it, less than 5. Usually we see about 3 questions like for entering into groups like this. But just think through that, because you can get some data ahead of time, and you can also ask, are you a realtor? And you can deny those people. You don't have to let other agents into your group. You can get lots of ideas of what people are posting. Other agents are posting through, business pages and everything. You can go to your town, whether it's a city hall page or website. You can look at local chamber information, look at park district information. Those are all good things to be able to provide to your prospective buyers and sellers. So groups like that are good because you can, with those questions, you can do resources for people that live in that town. So you can talk about why people might want to move there, what's so great about that town. And that could really be a good way to attract people that are moving into the town that might be looking at other areas as well, and they can get information about what's so great about the area that you live in. And then again, you're solidifying yourself as that local resource. And then on the other side of it, people that already live in the town, you can give great resources for local vendors. And if somebody's looking for, plumbers, painters, stuff like that, that could be a great key to you to start that conversation about, hey, what's going on? Why are you thinking of remodeling your kitchen? Is it just, are you outgrowing your home? Are you looking to move? Or can I provide you with some information about where you can get the most return on your investment for when you do want to sell, even if it is 10 years from now? But again, coming from contribution and being able to be that local resource. And Jen, I see you have a question. I'd love to hear it.
Okay, so on the privacy thing where you were vetting if they were a local realtor and all that, was that on the privacy page?
Oh, you cut out. Was that on the what?
Okay, so how you vetted the people with those questions?
Yep.
Did that on the group, on the privacy, correct?
Yeah, that was on the privacy. So, when you create a group, part of the setup process is going to ask if you want to ask any questions of the people that are requesting to join. And you can set it up so that there's a few different things. You can automatically approve people. You can say if they didn't answer the questions, automatically disapprove them. You can do it as a manual. There's just different things you can do, but I do like that idea of asking the questions so that you get a little bit of that info before they join. And like I said, you don't necessarily want other agents in your group because you're working hard to be able to build those relationships. Now, maybe it's something where a group of agents work in this group together, and you guys would just need to kind of have some ground rules about getting leads and working with people in there. If that's something you want to do, that would be okay as well. Just make sure that you have everything written out ahead of time and a clear understanding of who would be working with who.
Thank you, Amy.
Of course. All right, so that's a little bit about the setup of groups like that. I talked a little bit about where you can get information to put in there. The whole goal of these Facebook groups, whether you're an agent or not, just Facebook in general, like I said, is to kind of build that community. So you do want to be able to get, like I mentioned earlier, some people in there that will help by asking questions. And then the idea is to get the people that are in the group to just kind of engage with each other. It doesn't always have to be you starting conversations. And you can use fun little engagement posts around, like right now we're around the holidays, like real tree or fake tree, just stuff like that to build some engagement. One of the tips I have for you as those groups get bigger is to have some of the members in it that are more active, and maybe you have a, not maybe, but people you have a good relationship with, invite them to be admins or moderators to help keep an eye on the group for you as well, and let you know if there's anything, you know, that maybe should be deleted, or if there's questions that you haven't seen that you should be answering. Moderators and admin can help with that too, just to kind of manage that group a little bit more. I do recommend when you set up those groups to have clear rules, mission statements, and then possibly an announcement at the top, just to let people know what to expect from that group. So for example, you might want to say, Facebook recommends rules already when you set up groups, but like it's a safe space, no profanity, you know, stuff like that. However you want those rules to work, just you can just check off the ones you want to apply to the group. No selling, a lot of people do in town groups like this. And then a mission statement is like, why did you put this group together? What are you looking to have happen? Why should people be joining this group? So make sure that people know what it is that they should be expecting from it. And with the announcement or pin to the top of the group, you could put that mission statement or just a little bit about yourself, or again, why you've put this group together, so that people know that they're in a place that fits for them. So those are a couple of tips I have for you if you are creating a group yourself. Okay, so we talked about a lot of stuff. Groups that are already built, hobby groups, town groups, and groups that you can build yourself. We talked a little bit about, you know, how to beat some of the algorithms and how to build those relationships. So does anybody want to dig in on any more of those topics with more questions, clarifying anything? Karen looks inquisitive. No. All right, one more tip I have for you is the 5-5-5. And some of you guys who have been on my classes before have heard of this. But this is a good tip across the board for social media. It's 5 minutes before, 5 words or more, 5 different people. And I guess you could put those in different orders too. But before you are posting on social media, whether it's in a group or on a page or your personal profile, a really good way to get more people to see your content is to reach out to 5 people ahead of time, 5 minutes before you post, with 5 words or more. What that will do is show Facebook, or, you know, whatever platform you're on, that you, so Karen, I'm going to use an example. Let's say I haven't talked to you on Facebook at all, but you posted in this group and I saw something that you posted and I went and commented on it and I said hey, Amy Stack, Lombard Realtor, and then I answer your question with 5 words or more. Now Facebook sees that we connected. So the next time I post, it's going to think, oh, Karen and Amy were talking. I think that Karen might want to see what Amy posted. So you'll be more likely to see my content now. So that's how that rule of 5 works. And you can do that in groups. You can do that on somebody's personal profile. You can do that in private messages. The challenge that I would pose to you guys is when you're doing that, reach out to people you haven't already connected with. If you are seeing people pop up in your feed or comment on your stuff all the time, those are not the 5 people that you want to reach out to before you're posting. You want to go reach out to people that you're not already connected with, because you want to make sure that you're starting to pop up in their feed on a more regular basis. Questions about that? Well, you guys are quiet today. All right. Well, with that, I think that's going to wrap up some of our tips for today for Facebook groups. We will be switching days starting in January, so keep an eye out on social and your email. If you guys have subscribed to my weekly email, I'll let you know. We just kind of redid our calendar, so I'll let you know when the new classes will be. And then I saw Alexander, you said 5-5-5. What is that again? Yes, I'd love to share. 5 people, reach out to 5 people, 5 minutes before you post, and use 5 words or more. You can absolutely use emojis and little GIFs and everything, but those don't count. So you have to use at least 5 words or more for the algorithm to pick up on it. It thinks that that's, you know, if you're just writing love it or great, it thinks that it's not a real conversation. So you got to use at least 5 words. Yeah, that's one of my favorite tips for you. All right, anything, I'd love to hear from you guys. What was one of your takeaways today? Let's hear from a couple of people. Other than the 555, because like 3 people said that. Yay. Anything else you learned today?
About using the tagline in post, because I do post in a lot of groups, but I didn't know that about using, you know, Karen Hunter, your hometown realtor, or whatever.
Yeah, perfect.
So very good.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, that's a good one to help beat the algorithm too. So the 555 and your kind of branded header, I guess. All right, well, thank you guys so much for spending this. I know a lot of people are out this week, so congrats to you for spending time on yourself and your business. And thank you for joining me. Like I said, I'll send out some updates with our January classes in the near future.
Thank you, Amy.